Hold up, let's look at the facts. I'm Jennifer. Nolan Wells was an 18-year-old college football wide receiver for Southwest Mississippi Community College, just 3 weeks shy of his 19th birthday, and preparing to report back for camp. What started as a massive 4th of July celebration on Horn Island, with thousands of people and 3 tied-together boats, ended in total tragedy. By 4:31 p.m., the boat he arrived on pulled away to head back to the mainland. Nolan never made it home. Drop your city in the comments below, and let's examine the timeline. Let's break down the physical evidence the legal team is looking at. At 2:23 p.m. on July 4th, video footage shows Nolan standing by the boats in swim trunks with no shirt on. Yet 2 days later, when his body was recovered off the island's tip, search teams documented that he was fully clothed. An independent autopsy conducted by a former chief medical examiner noted unexplained red discoloration on the back of his head and missing neck structures, leaving the manner of death undetermined and foul play on the table. Why would an athletic swimmer end up fully clothed in the Mississippi Sound? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now examine the official marine logs. Around 4 p.m., the boat operator reported taking on water due to a failed bilge pump. When dispatch asked if everyone on board was accounted for, the operator confirmed all 7 people were present and headed in. But Nolan wasn't on that vessel. His phone and belongings were tracked via Life 360 by his mother all the way back to the mainland, hours before any official missing person report was filed. Was this sheer panic during an emergency evacuation, or did critical details get ignored? Hit that follow button and tell me how you interpret that call. Here is the ultimate contradiction that independent attorneys and Nancy Grace are highlighting. The narrative given by his friends is that Nolan willingly chose to stay behind on an island miles from shore for a girl he had just met that morning. But that very same young woman told the family's legal team that Nolan explicitly told her he was heading back to catch his boat. Both statements were made on that exact same sandbar, yet both cannot be true. With civil rights attorneys demanding answers, the truth has to come out. Follow for Part 5 as new documents are released. Hold up, let's look at the facts. I'm Jennifer. When you strip away the internet noise, a disturbing pattern emerges around 2 critical pieces of physical evidence. First, Nolan's phone. Left on the boat, tracked down by his mother before investigators secured it, with serious allegations now surfacing that content from that day was wiped clean. Second, the missing internal neck structures not provided to the independent forensic pathologist. While each has an ordinary explanation on paper, the reality is that the 2 exact objects capable of proving how Nolan ended up in the water were completely out of reach when experts needed them most. Drop your thoughts below. Drowning accident or foul play? Follow for Part 6. Let's examine what the second autopsy actually uncovered. Dr. Roger Mitchell, who led Washington, D.C.'s medical examiner's office for 7 years, flagged focal red discoloration deep in the soft tissue at the back of Nolan's head. Crucially, the internal neck structures, including the delicate hyoid bone, the number 1 indicator of trauma or manual force, were retained by the state lab and not available for the independent review. Without those structures, the pathologist stated plainly that he cannot determine whether Nolan entered the water conscious or unconscious, forced or unforced. Was this an accidental drowning, or was he incapacitated beforehand? Let me know your theory in the comments. Here is where the investigation truly stands. On one hand, you have a group of teenagers fleeing a sinking vessel in a chaotic emergency at 4:31 p.m., believing everyone was accounted for. On the other hand, you have an athletic swimmer found days later fully clothed, contradictory witness statements about why he stayed behind, and critical physical evidence that leaves foul play firmly on the table. Nolan's mother has called for peace, but the family demands full transparency. Based on the missing phone data, the head discoloration, and the contradictory timelines, do you believe Nolan drowned accidentally, or was he attacked before entering that water? Drop your breakdown in the comments and share this out.